Hello everyone, my name is Angel Tiara. Today I want to explain about the journal. Okay, knowing speaking problem that are encountered by the student is really necessary and helpful for both teacher and student. By analyzing it, the teachers can get to know more what kind of problem might hinder their student during speaking class, then try to evaluate and overcome the problem together with the student. All of those problems are inspirable with a student speaking skill and possibly make them reluctant to speak during the class. Despite to the foregoing fact, it is true that English is challenging for students to master, particularly when it comes to speaking. Before engaging in a communication, student must prepare either the item they will say or the most appropriate English utter cast they can utilize, such as a choice of word, pronunciation, grammar, and the etc. And then it needs much effort to express what is performing on their minds verbally and cannot be separate from some problem related to their speaking performance. On the other hand, speaking English is not a straightforward or easy undertaking, even for English students study. And then after journal have a speaking skill. The ability to speak is related to communicative competence. This is a physically intensive activity for students of all age. Speaking in a foreign language is a required to share understanding with others, to convey the message exactly and accurately. They must find the most acceptable word as well as the perfect syntax. It is also critical to structure the conversation such the interlocutor comprehends what the speaker is saying, and then have a problem in teaching and learning speaking. Teaching and learning to talk is more challenging for a teacher and teaching other linguistic talents. Problems may develop as a result of both language uh, acquisition and technology challenge in a teaching speaking. And then have a psychological problem. Motivation, anxiety, and self-esteem are the traits that hamper EFL student in an English-speaking class. And then have a method. This kind of study aims only to describe and interpret the phenomenon or even found without further studying, such as defining its correlation or examining hypotheses. English Language Education Study program Universitas Islam Riau Pekanbaru became the location of taking the data of study. Analyst was a colleague from the second semester student in academic year 2020 until 2021. There were 15 students or 15% from the population, 76 students, and then the instrument is the list of questionnaire and interview. And then procedure of collection data is distribute questionnaire and interviewing students. First is questionnaire were distributed to the samples. Second, instructor were given to the student to make sure all the questions were answered by them. Next, data collected from the questionnaire were analyzed to ensure the breakdown of each psychological problem indicator. And then have a finding and discuss. There were three indicators that have been elaborated by the research for finding out the psychological problem in speaking skill. They were low of self-confidence, anxiety, and low of self-esteem. Furthermore, and the finding found from each indicator will be analyzed one by one to the following. And then the last is conclusion. In conclusion, the EFL student at the Universitas Islam Riau faced some problem in a speaking skill, particularly in the subject of speaking for a social intellectual, and then a communications class, and then the data were analyzed from students' answer on a questionnaire, then supported by their answer in the interview. The psychological problem that prominently encountered the student was low of self, and then have the esteem. They were unable to speak in English as well as most of their friends. Then they left. They felt they had too much to be proud during the class due to several problems. Most of the students tend to feel they were failure because they have not improved their speaking skill yet due to several linguistic problems which encounter them at the same thing. And then the data were analyzed from student answer or questionnaire, then support by their answer in the interview. So the psychological problem that prominently encountered the student was low of self-esteem. Okay, I think that's all I can explain about this journal. If I have a wrong and mistake, please forgive and see you guys.